Good day, it's August 28th, 2023. Donald Trump and his co-defendants in the Georgia RICO criminal conspiracy case have all presented themselves to the Fulton County Sheriff's Department to surrender, have been arrested, and will be booked for crimes they are being charged with. First to do so, John Eastman, the originator of the idea that Vice President Mike Pence and the state legislatures in the state that Donald Trump lost to Joseph Biden can choose their own winner, was first to surrender and be booked. I'm Esmeralda Padilla Gold, and welcome to The Pulse.
And I'm Sam Buban. It's good to be back from the Southeast Asia after 3 weeks.
Welcome back, Uncle Sam.
Thank you.
I hope you had an amazing time in Southeast Asia.
It was wonderful.
Well, we're all looking forward to hearing your adventures.
All right.
As of the August 25th deadline for the surrender to the Fulton County Jail, all 19 defendants in the Georgia RICO case relating to conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election have surrendered and posted bail. They have all been released pending trial for the crimes they are being charged with. Former President Donald Trump surrendered and was booked at the county jail in the evening of Thursday, a day before the deadline set by the District Attorney Fani Willis. Here's a list of those defendants and the bail bonds they were required to post. Number 1, Donald Trump, who faces 13 counts of criminal acts, posted $200,000 bond. Number 2, Rudy Giuliani, who is listed as defendant number 2 in the case, faces 13 charges and posted a $150,000 bond. Number 3, John Eastman, a conservative lawyer from whom the idea that the state legislature can rule on the winner originated from, posted a $100,000 bond and faces 9 counts of criminal acts. Number 4, Kenneth Chesbro, a former White House lawyer, is charged with 7 counts and posted a $100,000 bond. Number 5, Jeffrey Clark, the number 4 man in the Trump administration DOJ, is charged with 2 counts and posted a $100,000 bond. Number 6, Mark Meadows, Trump's White House chief of staff, faces 2 counts and posted a $100,000 bond. Number 7, Sidney Powell, a member of Giuliani's team of lawyers who peddled the lies, faces 7 counts and posted a $100,000 bond. Number 8, Jenna Ellis, the other sidekick of Rudy Giuliani, faces 2 counts and posted a $100,000 bond. Number 9, David Schaefer, former chairman of the Georgia Republican Party, is charged with 8 counts and posted a $75,000 bond. Number 10, Kathy Latham, a Georgia Republican official, faces 11 counts and a $75,000 bond. Number 11, Ray Smith III, a lawyer for the Trump campaign, faces 12 counts and posted a $50,000 bond. Number 12, Sean Still, a Georgia Republican state senator, is charged with 7 counts and posted a $10,000 bond. Number 13, Willie Louis Floyd, a former director of Black Voices for Trump, is charged with 3 counts. He has not negotiated yet a bond amount and is being held at the county jail as of Friday. A judge may release him in his own recognizance. And number 14, Michael Roman, the election day operations lawyer for Trump, faces 7 counts and posted a $50,000 bond. A former Coffee County election supervisor, Misty Hampton, faces 7 counts and posted a $10,000 bond.
2 of the defendants, Mark Meadows and Jeffrey Clark, petitioned the court to transfer their case to a federal court. They sought to delay their arrest, but Georgia Superior Court judge denied their motion, so both defendants had already surrendered. But there is an evidentiary hearing for Mark Meadows on his petition based on the supremacy clause that because of the federal nature of his position as White House Chief of Staff, he should be tried in a federal court instead of a state court. The same argument that was later followed by Jeffrey Clark's lawyer as a federal officer, being that he was Assistant Attorney General. The petition was filed before a federal judge and is awaiting a hearing on this argument. The Fulton County District Attorney, Fani Willis, who is prosecuting the case, already knew this argument. That is why in the indictment she included charges of a crime committed under color of federal officer. According to legal analysts from Midas Touch Network and Legal AF, Ben Meiselas and Michael Popak, the change in venue to a federal court for Mark Meadows and Jeffrey Clark does not really mean much. They describe it as just a change in real estate because the same evidence, the same prosecutors, and the same witnesses will all be brought to the federal court if a U.S. District Judge grants their request. What are Meadows and Clark trying to accomplish? According to lawyer Ben Meiselas, they may be hoping to bring this all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court and are hoping the Supreme Court justices will be sympathetic to them. We are going to take a commercial break. Please stay with us.
We use headphones as a part of our everyday lives. Whether we're at work, getting exercise, meditating, in transit, studying, practicing, or relaxing.
Hi, I'm Ryan Sway, the founder of Aircom. I would like to introduce the world's first wireless airflow audio earbuds. As a festival and a concert junkie, I really enjoy the live experience of being there and feeling the music. When we started developing Airflow, our goal was to reproduce that live experience using earbuds.
The problem with traditional headphones is that the speakers are located inside of the earpiece, literally giving you centimeters before the audio hits your eardrum.
What Aircom is doing, they're the first company to actually address the fact that there needs to be a space involved associated with having the sound waves expand fully.
The difference between traditional headphones and Aircom audio is that the air tube gives you 8 times more space, allowing the sound waves to fully develop before they actually hit your eardrums. And this gives it a much more live, natural sound, just like in a recording studio.
It's real nice that someone actually addressed the physics associated with how sound comes out.
The challenge we had was to create an earbud with enough airspace for the sound to fully develop and breathe. Unfortunately, traditional earbuds are about the size of a jelly bean, and there's just not enough airspace. However, that changed when we developed Airflow Audio. Airflow uses an air tube to deliver 6 to 8 times more airspace than traditional earbuds. The end result is a true live listening experience, just like you're at a festival or a concert. We also added magnets to the back of the earpieces so you can wear it around your neck when you're not using it.
Being that the drivers are 8 inches from the earpiece, the magnets do not affect the integrity of the sound at all.
The orange line represents the frequency transmitting through the wire to the speaker, which then converts to the blue sound wave that develops more as it travels up the air tube, producing a balanced, full body and live listening experience.
Another really cool feature is that these earbuds are sweat-proof and water-resistant because they're coated with a super hydrophobic nanotechnology. So now you can be on a skateboard or riding a motorcycle and listen to music as if you were watching a live show or actually in a recording studio.
We're coming to you for help in bringing these unparalleled earbuds to market.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. In North Carolina, where they have a Democratic governor and a Republican-controlled legislature, are preparing for a showdown over a veto by the governor on a voting rights bill. According to a report from the Associated Press, Governor Roy Cooper vetoed a sweeping election bill put out by the Republican supermajority in state legislature that would end a grace period for those voting by mail. In a video message, Governor Cooper accused the legislative Republicans of using their slim, veto-proof supermajority in the legislature to execute an all-out assault on the right to vote. He also said that the bill has nothing to do with election security, but all is about their party keeping and gaining power. As a side note, many of these anti-voting rights laws enacted by Republican legislatures ended up being struck down by the courts as unconstitutional and unenforceable.
Last week, we ran a segment on Russia under Vladimir Putin, where his oppositions, generals, and oligarchs are dying under mysterious circumstances. This week, we can add another big name to the list. Yevgeny Prigozhin, the founder of the mercenary company, the Wagner Group, who staged a mutiny in Russia a few weeks ago, has died in a plane crash. Russian authorities confirmed that 11 passengers in a private plane that crashed were all killed during the incident. Western observers suspect this may not be any different than the many deaths and may be directed by President Putin, especially that Prigozhin militarily rebelled against him.
China has banned the importation of seafood from Japan after the country started releasing into the Pacific Ocean the treated radioactive water from the tsunami-wrecked Fukushima Daiichi power plant. Both China and Korea are raising concerns of the danger of radioactive seafood reaching the consumers. In response to the wastewater release, according to the Associated Press, Chinese customs authorities banned seafood from Japan. The customs announced it Thursday last week. The ban started immediately and includes all aquatic products including seafood and affects all imports of these products from Japan. Chinese authorities said they will dynamically adjust relevant regulatory measures as appropriate to prevent the risk of nuclear contaminated water discharge to the health and food safety of our country.
In the Philippines, a supply boat that was headed to the Ayungin Shoal in the West Philippine Sea to resupply the Philippine Marine outpost that is stationed in the grounded vessel, the BRP Sierra Madre, was able to get through in spite the blockade of several Chinese Coast Guard ships. According to the Navy Times and a report from the Associated Press, the supply boat, escorted by 2 Philippine Coast Guard vessels, and as a U.S. Navy plane hovered in circle, was able to get through during a 5-hour tense standoff in the disputed waters near the disputed Ayungin Shoal without an escalation. The BRP Sierra Madre is a Philippine Navy vessel given by the United States but was purposely run aground by the Philippines in the sand of the Second Tamas Shoal to stake the Philippines' claim to the territory. It is rusting in the Second Tamas Shoal but is home to a Philippine contingent of Marines to assert sovereignty in those waters. The disputed water is actually part of the Philippine Economic Zone as adjudicated by the International Arbitration Commission in 2016 during the administration of President Pinoy Aquino. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we will be joined here in the studio by Congresswoman Dina Titus of Nevada. Please stay with us.
Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. With us now, here at FilAmTV Network Studio, is the lady who represents the 1st Congressional District of Nevada. She first served as Nevada's Congressional District 3 representative in 2009 for the 111th Congress. Democratic Congresswoman Dina Titus, thank you so much for being with us today. It's nice to meet you once again.
Well, likewise, thank you for having me on the pulse. You've got your finger on the pulse in this community, I believe.
Thank you for saying that. Congresswoman, we are glad you could join us here today. And we truly believe this will not be your last, especially with the 2024 election coming up. I know that in the 2022 election during the midterm, your district was a new district than the previous one. In spite of that challenge, you have a significant portion that includes City of Henderson, and you easily got re-elected. Is the demographic right now in your district favorable for you or tougher for you in the 2024 election?
Well, there was a big change. I went from like 27% lead of Democrats down to 3.
Oh.
So that was a drastic change. Also, they divided the district almost in half, and everything west of the freeway was split between Susie Lee and Stephen Horsford. And I lost a lot of the Asian Pacific Island community when that happened. But now you're right, I do have Henderson and Boulder City. But I represented some of that area when I was in the state senate many years ago.
Right.
So it's kind of like I'm reintroducing myself. And there are a lot of new people who have moved here from California. So I have to let them know who I am and what I've done. But I never say I won easily. It's always a battle.
Oh, it was a battle. Yeah. While the MAGA Republicans in the House had not seemed to really done anything for this district. I'm talking about the what the media calls the attention caucus, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Gomert, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz.
Right.
Can you name 3 legislations that you supported or you voted in favor of that benefited the people in your district and also the state of Nevada?
Well, thank you. You're right about them being the attention caucus. All they do is try to get news and say something outrageous. They don't try to move policy ahead.
Right.
If I can start by saying I serve on 3 committees that really affect the district. Transportation and infrastructure, and you know how important that is for Nevada because we have to import everything from people to flowers to lobsters, so that's a good committee. Foreign Affairs, because we are an international city. We have people from all over the world who live here and all over the world who come here, so that's a good committee.
Right.
And then the third one is Homeland Security, and you know that's a big issue for us, whether it's cyber security or just the transient community that you have to keep kind of tabs on. But some of the bills that I'm really proud of, there were a number of recovery bills that helped us get out of the pandemic. And I was able to get Nevada an extra $1 billion because we changed the formula. Originally it was just based on population, but I got added to that unemployment. And we had the highest unemployment in the whole country. So when you added that into the formula, our allocation of federal dollars went up by $1 billion. So I was happy about that. Another thing, I introduced a bill that the president enacted before it made its way through Congress, and that was to create the National Monument of Aviquame, which is a recreational area. It's a sacred area for Native Americans, and it helps the tourism of rural Nevada and the surrounding communities like Searchlight and Boulder City, because people who are going out there to hike and camp and all will go through and buy their supplies there. So that's the second one. A third one that you might be interested in is I got included in a veterans bill provisions for Filipino veterans who had been left out. And they were right on the front lines with us in World War II. So now they have some coverage with VA benefits.
That is wonderful. You must have heard about the the legal scholarly opinion of Professor William Bodie and Michael Paulson, professors of law and outstanding members of the Federalist Society, which are generally like a Republican think tank, where judges and justices comes from if it's a Republican president. Now they are going to publish in February in the Pennsylvania University Law Review, saying that based on the preponderance of evidence, or evidence already uncovered by Congress, by Jack Smith, the special counsel, and even those that are by Fannie Willis in Georgia, that in Article 3, Article 3 of the 14th Amendment, Donald Trump should already be disqualified now. So my question is, do you believe Trump should already be disqualified?
Well, I'm certainly not a fan, and I hope he is not the next president, and I don't think he will be. But you're right, those are very conservative jurists. And also some others have started to kind of talk about that as a possibility. That amendment was added to the Constitution after the Civil War and referred to Southerners who had withdrawn from the Union to say they couldn't run for office. So it's anybody who leads or aids in a revolt against the system or against the U.S. government. So I certainly think there's no doubt that he did that when he encouraged people to storm the Capitol on January the 6th. And there's lots of evidence. You're right, he's got about 100 indictments against him already in 4 courts. So it's pretty clear he did that. Now, whether they can prove it in court with intent, that's a different story. And remember, every decision will ultimately go to the Supreme Court, and he's got 3 appointees there along with other conservative judges, so they'd probably overturn it anyway. But it's a nice scholarly approach, and it's nice to have conservatives saying he shouldn't be president too. It's not just Democrats.
For Nevada Congressional District 1, who in the Republican Party have come forward to challenge you?
Well, so far there are 3 people. One of them is the person who ran against me last time, so he is back. Now, they'll have to sort it out on their side with the primary, but if you look at what they stand for, all 3 of them are conservative MAGA Trump supporters, and it's a great contrast between them and me. So we'll be pointing that contrast out.
Congresswoman, in the 2024 election, do you think the Democrats will be able to take back control of the House of Representatives for the 119th Congress?
I think there's a real good chance of it. You know, it's a very close margin now, just about 4 or 5 people. And some of the redistricting in some states has favored the Democrats. And then I just think the message is on our side. The job creation, the environmental issues, the health care, bringing the cost of insulin down to $35, capping drug cost at $2,000. Those are things people really care about. So district by district, we'll be telling that story. Here in Las Vegas, while I've been home during August, I've been going around to all the projects funded by government like RTC and electric buses and things, pointing out specifically what Democrats have done, and it's going to be hard for them to challenge that.
I could imagine.
Finally, can you highlight any achievements or initiatives that you are particularly proud of as a Congresswoman representing Nevada?
Well, thank you. I mentioned a couple in the bills that I've gotten passed, but one other thing is that I've always worked with the disabled community, and that goes back to the time I was in the legislature. And so just recently I got some provisions into the FAA reauthorization that has to do with airplanes, airlines, airports, that would be more accommodating to people who are in wheelchairs. You know, sometimes their devices just get thrown into baggage, they get torn up. you can't fit into a restroom, and there isn't anybody at the FAA to respond to those problems, and the airlines kind of sometimes blow them off. So I think that that's a good accomplishment so that everybody has equal rights. And for my work in that area, there's an apartment complex for low-income people with disabilities off the Boulder Highway on Missouri called Dina Titus Estates, and that makes me very proud.
Really? Yeah, okay. I could imagine. Well, last word from you for our audience, Congresswoman.
Well, thank you very much. I would just say to your audience, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. We're located in City Hall, but you can call us. We're on the email. If you have any problems with veterans benefits, Social Security, immigration, that's what we're there for. It's not just what's happening in Washington, it's what's happening here at home too. So please reach out. We consider ourselves to be your partner in this community.
Before we conclude, we would like to extend our appreciation to you, our gratitude.
Yes.
And thank you so much. Your words have been enlightening and inspiring.
Well, thank you. Please have me on again.
Yes, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching The Pulse. Until next time, I'm Esmeralda Padilla Gould.
And I'm Sam Buban. God bless your week.